Or no, go to the
demo.
Go for it.
So, built around the ability to just go in, in this case I have to pay my HOA dues monthly, whatever it may be. So we want to make it frictionless so they can make a quick payment, go in. So just tap in quick payment, they can enter their account. And as Rob indicated, this is set up for exactly what Omni wants their homeowners to enter. So when, instead of having to worry about a lot of entering in the keyboard for address and fat framing the keyboard, go ahead and pre-fill it via search, throw in my name.
And each business will be different. Have, what do I want to collect and how do I want to make payments?
Make sure the user gets an email receipt for what they're paying. If I want to have a note included, and then ultimately the next option is how I want to pay. So we have three methods: check, credit card, and e-check or ACH. Check is actually reverse RDC, for example, and we're working with Profit Stars.
What do you mean it's reverse RDC?
So I'm writing the check, but I'm depositing it into the account that's associated with my homeowners association.
So you're going to take a picture of it?
So I'll take a picture of a physical check.
It's RDC. Basically, the banker came to us. All great innovation comes from the banker, right? Banker came and said, I want the HOA member, rather than stuffing the check in an envelope, because they have a lockbox problem, right? I want that check to be taken, they'll write it out and take
So you're doing like a
it.
virtual lockbox?
Basically, and we're using your business deposit services, and we can deposit, many people can deposit in, so you use a check to pay a bill. And in fact, it clears quicker than ACH because it's check to win. So it's a very novel way. Now, Omni's not limiting it. They'll take credit cards and they'll do ACH as well, but their big problem was physical checks, and they wanted to get out of that.
Hey, what do you tell them about the person? I mean, you got my interest now. Okay, if I take the picture of the check as me paying the bill, what are you going to tell me to do with that check when I'm done?
Rip it up.
Are you checking for endorsements?
Doesn't even need to be endorsed because you're paying a bill. Like you just wrote the check out to the merchant.
Okay, so you checking for signatures?
Nope, we don't need to. It's not a connect. It's irrelevant to the deposit process when you pay a business, right? Because you're not depositing it to yourself. You're really just using a check to pay a bill. What we're really doing is, rather than the business having a scanner from Jack Henry and Profit Stars, in their office, they push the scanner out to the customer in an app, and they let the customer scan the check. It's just basically that, and then it comes right through the rails. But the cool thing, again, is the innovation isn't as much using checks, because they may use ACH or cards, and we're going to do all that through SmartPay Express. They're all, they use all the, we're not a payment processor. The beauty of it is a bank publishing a mobile wallet for a local business. No bank is doing it. So this banker, Redding, California, Redding Bank of Commerce, he goes out and sells treasury services, and he has something that no one else has. He can help his businesses publish out.
I gotta say, that's cool.
It's different. It's a different take. It's basically biller direct internet.
So how do you sell your product to banks?
Direct and through channel. So we have a direct sales force, and we go through channel partners like D&H and CSI and Bottom Line. We have a series of people who redistribute our stuff. So we do both, and we only deal with community banks, 15 billion and under. This product will sell to a large bank. Go to the slides.
So why have you limited to just community banks?
Because we have a passion for community banking.
There's more of them.
Well, yeah.
Well, they pay less, but our model is to help the community banks compete and win against the money center banks. That's what we do. And we're an ASP. We're not set up in mobile and internet. We're the digital inside of mobile banking. That's kind of, we all came from DI. That's what we do. This is a little different. And it really came from this example, right? This crazy banker came and said, I have a lockbox problem. I want to put an app in the hands of my business's customers. B to B to B to C. Who's ever thought of that, right? But this is what it is. The HOA member downloads an app. They don't even have to identify themselves, and they pay a bill. So let's keep going. Go to the next slide. What really is going on is this, and this will resonate for biller direct folks. Is right now there are two models. The consolidator model is the page, right? Well, this ain't working. We know that, right? It's just not taking off. You can't pay most merchants. So what happened is Starbucks came in, and now Walmart, CVS, everybody's developing their own app that are their own mobile wallets. So they're basically saying, we can't wait for the consolidator model. We're going to go off and do it ourselves. And that's what we're enabling, is banks to enable their local businesses to publish apps just like Starbucks. So we counted the apps in the App Store, tried to get a sense of, do merchants already have apps? In our local market, we counted, and very, very few small businesses have apps in the App Store, but they're starting to do it. And you can see the super regionals as well. A few more of them have apps. A few more here, big box retailers, but very few of them are true mobile wallets. So businesses publishing mobile wallets, there are gonna be more and more. It's totally counterintuitive. Why would you want 13 apps if you could just have Apple Pay and pay everyone? But you can't pay everyone with Apple Pay. So businesses are gonna be publishing apps. These are a set of companies that have tools to help businesses publish apps. For as low as 20, 30 bucks a month, a business can build an app, post it to the App Store and to Google Play. None of them have payment capabilities. They're just all missing the boat. As a provider of internet and mobile, what we have done is focused here. We help businesses make payments. Preston worked with me, that's what we do. We help businesses make payments with internet banking, ACH wires, but we do not help them collect money. So we're turning that on its head. We're gonna help the businesses collect money. Who's using it? There are 3 use cases that we're getting a lot of traction. The first are these businesses, homeowner associations. We just signed up what's called a Kitty Academy, a child's care. He's got the gentleman who has 7 locations. We have a property manager who has 3,000 units over like 11 buildings. He's going to be using this. Indirect lending, this was fascinating. Credit unions who have gotten into lots of indirect loans, but they don't have the deposit relationship. They have a payments problem. So they're gonna publish a Mox Pay app for themselves and let non-members make payments, non-deposit holders make payments. I started looking into this. Most of our 400 customers who do mortgages say that over 20% of their mortgages bank away from them, and they have to collect, and it's hard. It's a payments problem. The app will give them an option. And this one is awesome. Churches, not-for-profits, using their own app to tithe, to raise money. Churches have something they can download. They can, there's generic apps that they can sign up for, but they're not branded for them. So what we've done here is allowed the business to publish their own app using the bank's infrastructure, the technology the bank buys from us, and allow that business to become like Starbucks. It's just as simple as that. And the HOA is the first example. There are a couple of publishing models. The HOA is this one, where they're going to publish their own app in the App Store. Several of the banks are looking at this co-branding model, where Reading Bank of Commerce posts an app, and then you just choose the business you want to pay. Now, I was with a banker yesterday in a small town in Wisconsin, and that gentleman was saying, I'm going to get every local merchant into this co-branded, and I'm going to be the Apple Pay for X community in Wisconsin. So it allows them to build local ecosystems all using their technology. And then, as we talked about, the Mox Pay for the bank or the CU. Again, kind of simple, payment apps for businesses, app publishing tool. And this value proposition, very similar to Biller Direct, what we've been pushing, people collecting payments on their websites, all this does is extend it to the app. Now, one thing, you can't do this through rendered websites. It's not SmartPay Express on a website re-rendered for a phone. Because we tried to sell that story to credit unions and banks. You don't need native apps. You can re-render your website, and you know what doesn't work? There are now 6,000 mobile banking apps. Literally, we count them every year. There are 6,000 mobile banking apps in the App Store. Native one. Businesses are going to want native apps. They're not going to want re-rendered websites. Really important point. We just know that through experience. And then 3 ways to pay. The check deposit thing, I'll admit, is crazy, wacky, and I have no idea if it's going to work. But it's highly innovative, and it's the problem that bank had and that business had. They had a huge lockbox problem. We can do ACH, and we can do credit and debit card as well. So the merchant chooses.
On your number 1, the check deposit, I'm sorry, walk in.
That's okay.
Is it the one that they could take a picture of that check? So
It's like remote check, but paying the business.
So that check has the when it's in mobile, isn't it OCR, so it has to be converted to the micro?
You know, we use exactly the same remote check to capture deposit technology that's embedded in mobile. It's so for us, all we're doing is letting the consumer pay a bill, but they're using RDC, they're using mobile check capture. So that technology was all there. It's all
It's
built.
all the micro.
Exactly. We read
So
off
there's
the
no converting it from OCR to micro.
exactly.
So you're saying that you think having an app is better than having responsive design on it?
Well, we know it. Because banks and credit unions, our customers, we have 450 of them. They're all small banks. They're all small businesses throughout the country. And some vendor, my old vendor, Digital Insight, or the Core, or whoever it was, tried to sell them a re-rendered website when apps came along. And it does. We all know if you've used.
Well, no, but if you're just using it as a bill of direct, this is really a replacement for a bill of direct site.
It's
For
not a
micro- for
replacement.
micro-
It
for micro
augments.
billers. Right, for
It
micro
just says
billers.
now you have another channel to collect payments, which is the mobile channel. And we think the businesses are going to want their own mobile apps in the App Store. Well, that's the tenant behind it. And Starbucks is leading the way, basically.
Well, yeah, but you have a few, but I thought I saw some statistics where, the people that use apps generally use 5 to 10 apps.
5 to 10 apps.
And it's more namely for Facebook, Twitter, email, and that kind of stuff.
Do you use Starbucks? Does anybody here drink coffee?
Yeah, I do, but, and that's a macro biller, that's not a micro biller.
Well, true, but it's a business, and that's what we're talking
I understand that, but you're talking that's like saying that you have an Amazon app, it's a,
Well, but our point is businesses are going to have apps.
No, I know, the question I have is because we've kind of gone in the opposite direction, which is the whole industry is going towards responsive design.
Not mobile banking, not the bank.
So, well, but online banking app is much different than a bill pay app.
I disagree. We can
Okay.
talk about it.
Okay.
But the reality is, native apps create a better experience than rendered websites. The technology is not caught up, and native's better. It's just, we don't have to, it's subjective.
understand
It's subjective. And
Yeah,
local
because
businesses.
there's also a huge infrastructure to publish all of them and maintain them and upgrade with
Well, that's
iOS 10 and 9.
That's what we do.
all
Reading
that
Bank of
kind of stuff.
Commerce is a mobile banking customer of ours. All we're doing is taking their app, rebranding it for Omni, turning everything off except check capture. So it costs us pennies to publish an app for that local business. But the key here is Reading Bank of Commerce is the only one who's doing this in their local markets. They are selling treasury services because they're pushing this. Nobody else can do this. It's a differentiator.
You had a prior slide that had a not-for-profit. Do you find that there's a business case for universities or elementary schools?
Anybody who's collecting, schools have come up with some of the bankers who are out soliciting and getting businesses, academies, anyone paying a due
Lunch
monthly,
money.
quarterly. The HOA was a perfect example, but there are many others. And the churches just seem to resonate. The bank that's going to do the first one is giving it away to them and letting them help with, they have a lockbox problem too. They get a lot of checks. So they're hoping that this will minimize that. And what's interesting about this, I don't even know if it's going to work long term, but Apple Pay and all the pays are not relevant for most local businesses. This is. So a bank can go out today, rather than trying to put a mobile wallet into their mobile banking app, they can help local businesses publish just like Starbucks. And someday the pays will catch up, and I'm sure the Starbucks app will go away, but I don't think so. And for a while at least, native has the edge over responsive. But we're bigots. We believe in native. We built our company on the back of native versus not doing it.
Believing that people want to have a native app versus just going to a website that has responsive design based on a tablet or phone or PC tablet. This is basically trying to drive the bill of direct model down to what I call a micro business.
That's right.
Which is the under 500 or whatever.
500.
500 bills or customers or whatever you call them.
But no, because Omni has 60,000 HOA members paying bills, and it's a pretty good sized business.
Right, but that's probably represents 1,200 HOAs, not,
But Omni is who we're servicing.
Right, no, I understand that, but each HOA might have 50,
A few hundred.
50, a few hundred, and
That's
stuff
right.
like that, so that's.
Could Mox pay, could Mox pay applications sit in another application that
There's,
same
yes.
app.
There's an integration model so that we can work within someone else's app as well as the business needing their
Do
own.
you have API into going to a payment engine, use a different payment engine?
Whoever the bank wants to use, the credit union, they already have a payments processor, a credit card processor, we just hook it to whoever they use. The first bank uses ProfitStar, they use SmartPay Express, and that's who we hooked in.
Are you authenticating people, or are you just letting them come in?
In the HOA example, they didn't care to authenticate. Well, they can establish an ID and then they can come back and we remember who they are. But initially, it's grandma paying for a child, and they don't necessarily need you to be authenticated to make the payment. They're thinking
It's kind of a blind.
well, and their thinking is right now somebody's writing out a check, somebody, and stuffing it in an envelope. That's pretty blind. So it's basically a little better than that.
If they were to do ACH, you have to authenticate, it's one of the rules.
Very different.
So
And
check
sign off.
21 is the first one, where it's just like writing a check, and then the second is
And you sign like a pre-auth debit, like we all do every day.
recurring and all that.
Exactly. And then they could set that up. And what Omni's going to do is push people from the check to ACH because they're paying close to 80 cents an item to do lockbox on that check. And ACH we do payments. So the bank's encouraging them to do that. It's very interesting. The best thing about this, you probably never heard this anywhere else. That's what innovation is all about. Don't know if it'll work, but we do have a few businesses that are out there doing this and a few banks that are taking that first step. So pretty exciting. Exactly right. This is an extension of Treasury Management. Everybody, thank you. I think it's time to make the switch and go to the next session.
Do you guys have any